Fabulous combination of food, music and football, all to come between now and the 1 o'clock news.
But we begin with a look at a side of the textile industry that's not so well known. You've heard of the word shoddy. Well, here's how it originated.
Shoddy is a textile term describing old material that's been reprocessed into new fabric. It was a business that thrived for 150 years until fashions changed and the market for thick or shoddy material collapsed. Most of the shoddy manufacturers went bust, and to survive meant change. So here in Dewsbury, Colin Parkinson Shoddy and Waste became Evergreen, fashion from recycled fabrics with the emphasis on the environment.
From the early days, it was a commercial decision to keep in business, but from there we were able to develop new things using detergents that were less harmful, actually taking on the carding and the spinning ourselves, ensuring that right through to finished cloth and into knitting yarn, that every stage of production have been designed to minimise the impact on the environment. And from what starts off as being a commercial decision to stay in business becomes almost it starts to take over your life and becomes a crusade almost.
Woolen rags are bought from charity shops and come in by the ton to be sorted into colours and type. To John, whose father had the original shoddy business here, these are more than just rags.
To me, we still use the word waste, but it isn't. I mean, I can see a batch of rags, and if it's a really particularly nice, I can get very excited about it. And they're beautiful, gorgeous rags, and you can start to get quite enthusiastic. And sometimes there's a delivery being made, and you inspect a bale, and you get really carried away, and you feel you could roll about in it. It's gorgeous, and people, what's the matter with him? But it's that love and of the raw materials, and being able to tell one batch from another batch instantly and seeing the beauty in it. And there's a tremendous beauty in textile waste and raw materials.
The rags are shredded, then reconstituted into yarn, which is carded, spun, and then taken to local weavers to be woven into fabric. There's been no shortage of investment at Evergreen, and it's meant a lot of risks for John. He's experimented with different raw materials, and he's now working with recycled silk, cashmere, denim, and even hemp.
One of the big kicks is the fact that you are doing something different, you are doing something new, and now it's great when people come from all over the world, Hong Kong, America and Canada and all over, people say, oh, I've heard so-and-so were talking about you in this part of the world and so-and-so, and everybody knows, in the design, anybody working in green knows, they all know Evergreen, and that's great, and it's almost like embarrassing, it makes your life, you think, well, tiny little us in Batley car, and people are talking about us all over the world in design, about who's working with the eco-fashion, and Evergreen always comes up, and that's great. So we're doing something, we're making an impact, it's starting to happen.
And where better to show off John's newest fabrics than the Yorkshire Sculpture Park at nearby Bretton.
You can't ever imagine doing anything else or being involved in anything else. And it'd be a great shame because the knowledge that we've built up here as a company isn't anywhere else in the world to be had. So it's almost as though you feel as though you've got to do it, like it's your duty to carry on.
The clothing industry is reckoned to be the world's 4th largest polluter. Chemicals and fertilisers promote the growth of fibres, and chemical defoliants assist their harvesting. Processing and dyeing effluents are killing our rivers and seas. Excess of consumption on a planet with a rising population exacerbates the problem year by year. But things are stirring in a woefully lethargic industry. One company who's been pushing the boundary for the last 2.5 years is San Francisco-based Esprit. But they've returned to the Yorkshire Dales, the home of the British textile industry, to find sources for their new eco-collection. So Linda, why have Esprit started this eco-collection? And is it just like another clothing sales ploy?
No, not at all. Actually, the idea for e-collection came from the employees, a group of employees. And it's set up really as a research and development project So the ideas from e-collection are then applied to our main lines.
What sort of research and development did Esprit get involved in?
Organically grown cotton, recycled wool, working with co-ops to help endangered cultures and indigenous peoples to start local small-scale economies, all kinds of aspects.
So why have you returned to Dewsbury and this freezing cold mill? How's that going to help the environment?
Well, this is the site of our recycled wool, basically. And recycled wool is old garments that are shredded up and reprocessed into a new yarn. And we use that in e-collection, and we have been doing since fall 92.
How did you come to meet Esprit?
Just a phone call out of the blue. Linda had been looking for someone like ourselves that was taking time and trouble to get to those ecological standards, and one afternoon she found us and we did business from there.
Has price been a big consideration with them?
No, it wasn't the first question they asked. The first question was ecological quality and the quality of the fabric at the end of the day.
I bet that surprised you, didn't it?
It did a bit, yeah.
Linda, can you actually see Kim Basinger or Michelle Pfeiffer going into the LA Esprit and buying this when it's recycled?
Yeah, because when they're reprocessed, when this garment's shredded and reprocessed into yarn, it comes out into a beautiful fabric.
When it's re-shredded, is it going to be as strong as it was before?
Yeah, there are some limitations. There's a certain fineness that can't be achieved, but yeah, it's really very nice garments, durable garments in the end.
Are people prepared to pay for environmental control?
I don't think they are quite
to
yet.
pay for environmental control?
But what I like to say is that normal garments are actually
they
subsidised by the environment, because I don't think that the costs
what I like to
on the
say is that
environment are
normal
factored
garments
into the
are
final
actually
cost of
subsidised
normal
by the
garment, because I don't think that the costs on the environment are factored into the